Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to our last home game of the year here at Hawks Field in Gilbert, Arizona on the campus of Highland High School. It's your Hawks facing off against the second-ranked team in Arizona, the Corona del Sol Aztecs. A tough task today for the Hawks, who have only won 3 regular season games on the year. They look to play spoiler here against the first of 2 back-to-back games against the Aztecs. Some lineups as Adam Gonzalez throws over to Trey Cutchin at first, leading off for the Aztecs. And playing center field, he reached on a hit by pitch over there at first base, is number 5, Cade Verduzco. At the plate now is second baseman number 2, Wyatt Berry. Hitting third is the DH number 15, Matt Novus. Cleaning up is the shortstop number 7, Hunter Haas. As the runner goes, and Stephen Jones' throw is not in time, so a stolen base for Cade Verduzco. Hitting fifth is the third baseman, number 4, Brian Calmer. Hitting sixth, the pitcher, number 6, Brian Webb. Hitting seventh, the right fielder, number 22, Luke Eno. Hitting eighth, the first baseman, number 10, Daniel Sotelo. And rounding things out for the Corona del Sol Aztecs, left fielder, number 23, Mateo Baker. Not in the lineup this afternoon is the catcher, number 14, Jack Schobinger. As that one's grounded on a high hop to Webster, fires across the diamond. Got him! And the Corona del Sol fans don't like that call. A high hop from the shortstop Webster to the first baseman Cutchin. It's a 6-3 putout. Cade Verduzco moves to third base, and now it's the DH Matt Novus. Defensively for the Hawks this afternoon, manager Scott Cook getting some of his seniors in the lineup as this is their last home game. Gonzalez's first pitch swung on, lifted into left field, right at the left fielder, A.J. Peterson. And the run will score so quickly, it's a 1-0 lead for Corona del Sol. And now it's the shortstop, Hunter Haas, in the field for the Hawks. You just saw A.J. Peterson out in left field. He's one of the seniors. He doesn't start, but this afternoon gets the nod. Alec Deaton playing center field. Dakota Thornton in right, Lucas Hamza at base, Connor Webster, Court Myers, and Trey Cutchin at shortstop, second base, and first base, respectively. Stephen Jones does the catching this afternoon for senior Adam Gonzalez. Gonzalez misses there, and it's 1-0 to Hunter Haas. Haas on the year, a very hot bat, 493. 33 hits, 22 runs driven in, according to Max Preps. 6 doubles on the year, 1 triple, and 1 homer. Again, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, a difficult team here in Corona del Sol. As Gonzalez sets, and the curveball hits Hunter Haas, and he's aboard. The second hit by pitch of the inning, and now it's the third baseman, Brian Calmer. Corona del Sol battling for that top spot in the 6A Conference of Baseball here in Arizona. They're currently second only to Mountain View. The Toros out in Mesa. With a couple of wins against Highland, Corona del Sol could make themselves the number 1 overall seed heading into the playoffs. Those start in a couple of weeks as Gonzalez misses with a ball, and it's 1-0. Brian Calmer, number 4 at the plate, hitting .464 on the year. 32 hits, get this, 35 runs driven in, leads the team in that category. The righty stands close to the plate, the pitch. Lifted into right field, Dakota Thornton giving chase, and it's gone. A 2-run home run for Brian Calmer. And now, all of a sudden, it's 3-0 here in the top of the first. And now it's the pitcher, Brian Webb, who, in his first plate appearance, already has himself a 3-0 lead. Brian Webb, on the season, also swinging a very hot bat, above 400, hitting .408. 20 for 49 on the year. 9 runs driven in, 2 doubles, a triple, and a homer. First pitch from Gonzalez is on the inside part for a strike, and it's 0-1. Fans still filing in here at Hawks Field at Highland High School. Already missed a 2-run shot by Brian Comer. Gonzalez delivers a fastball on the outside edge for strike 2. Brian Webb also has walked 15 times this year. A patient hitter up there at the plate. This Corona del Sol team, it's a difficult one to beat. That one on the ground to Webster at short. He corrals it, throws on to first, and it's in time. And the inning is over. So 3 runs come across, 2 of which came on the 2-run home run by Brian Comer. The Hawks look to counter in the bottom of the first. Connor Webster, Trey Cutchin, and Lucas Hamza due up. We'll be right back. Back now for the bottom half of the first inning, where Connor Webster, the Hawks shortstop, will lead things off for Highland. The rest of the Hawks order looks like this. Trey Cutchin on deck. He's the first baseman, wearing number 3. He bats second. Lucas Hamza, the third baseman, hitting third. He wears number 22. Dakota Thornton out in right field, hitting cleanup. Alec Deaton, the center fielder, hits fifth. Court Myers, one of those seniors in the lineup for Highland. He's hitting sixth and playing second base, as the first pitch is in there from Brian Webb. Strike 1 to Connor Webster. Stephen Jones, the catcher, hits seventh. A.J. Peterson, the left fielder, hits eighth. And Aaron Fisher, the DH in today's ball game, rounds it out for the Hawks and hits ninth. And, of course, Adam Gonzalez on the hill today for Highland, but on the hill for Corona del Sol is Brian Webb. Webb, just a sophomore, left-handed pitcher, also plays first base. Stands 5 feet 10 tall and weighs 155 pounds. Fastball sailed on him there, and it's 1-2. On the year for Webb, a very low ERA, as that one misses outside. Webb 0.49, 0.49 on the year, with a 4-1 record in 7 appearances. He started 5 games. He's thrown a complete game this year. Also has thrown a shutout. That one misses outside, and the count is now full at 3-2. We're now looking at the stat sheets here, ladies and gentlemen. The complete game shutout, by the way, just so happened to be a no-hitter, as Connor Webster goes down looking, and there is one away on the inning. So Brian Webb has some great strikeout stuff, as we see that to start the game off. And now it's the first baseman, Trey Cutchin. Webb on the season, 28 1/3 innings, 16 hits in the whole year. Has only allowed 4 runs to come across, 2 of which have been earned. That strikeout on Connor Webster was his 25th of the season. Came in with 24. And he's walked 12 on the year. He's facing now his 115th batter of the season. Great campaign for the lefty Webb. Cutchin laid down a bunt foul. Here's the 0-1. Misses outside with a curveball. And count is even at a ball and a strike. Trey Cutchin on the season, hitting .420. 34 hits, 16 runs driven in. Arguably the most consistent bat in this Hawks lineup. And now it's 1-2. Webb sets. The lefty delivers. Miss low, and it is now knotted back at 2 balls and 2 strikes. For Cutchin, he's another senior in this Hawks lineup. This is his last home game. Cutchin lines one. Oh, almost. Wyatt Berry looked like he got a glove on it, but it got right over the tip. And Trey Cutchin is on with a 1-out single. A great effort by Wyatt Berry. Berry got way up there, timed that jump almost perfectly. Just couldn't come down with it. And Cutchin is aboard with 1 out. And now it's the third baseman, Lucas Hamza. Hamza, for the majority of the season, played first base. And the last couple of weeks, as Webb picks back to first, Cutchin back safely. In the last couple of weeks, Hamza has been moved across the diamond to third base. Scott Cook seems to like him over there. First pitch to Hamza, misses low and away, and it's 1-0. That lineup shakeup happened, I believe, almost 2 weeks ago now, as Hamza swung and missed there, and it's 1-1. Trey Cutchin, who was the everyday second baseman, was moved over to first base, and Hamza was moved across the diamond to third. With that, the everyday third baseman, Connor Webster, moved to short, and the everyday shortstop, Caleb Herbert, moved to second. So everybody making a shift to their right. Count even at 1-1 on Lucas Hamza. Brian Webb picks over to first, Cutchin back in time. Lucas Hamza on the year, hitting .256. That one lifted over the second baseman, Berry's head, and into center field for another 1-out single, and it's first and second now for Dakota Thornton. For Dakota Thornton, he's been the biggest bat in the order for Highland. Hitting .421, edging Cutchin by just a tick in the batting average category. 4 homers on the season, 3 of which came on the road against Desert Ridge and Mesa not too long ago. Webb misses outside with the ball, and it's 1-0. Thornton, 32 hits on the year, 27 runs driven in. Leads the Hawks in that category. It's got an early opportunity with 2 men on. Webb kicks and delivers. Swung on, lifted into left center field. And the left fielder, Mateo Baker, he dropped it. And everybody's going to advance safely. So, rule that an E7. And now it's the bases loaded for the center fielder, Alec Deaton. Wow, the Hawks caught a break there. It is a little bit windy here today in Gilbert, so that ball might have gotten caught up there in the wind. Baker just couldn't put a handle on it. Now the bases are loaded with 1 out for Alec Deaton. Webb sets from the stretch the pitch. Missed up high with a fastball, ball 1. Big opportunity here. Deaton also a senior. Webb misses inside, and it's 2-0. Just joining us, every Hawk in the lineup this afternoon is playing their final game at Highland here at home. Every one of them is a senior. It's 3-0 now on Alec Deaton as he takes one up and in. The 3-0 on its way. Deaton takes up high a fastball, and it's 3-1. Brian Webb is going to have to work his way back. Again, Webb coming into play with a 0.49 ERA. Webb sets the 3-1. Swung on, lifted right side, foul. No play for the catcher, Jack Schobinger. And now Webb has worked the count back full to 3-2. Court Myers would be next. He waits on deck. Webb sets. The 3-2 on its way. Swing and a miss, and a big strikeout there for Brian Webb. And there are two away for the second baseman, Court Myers. Myers has appeared in 17 games this season. 18 plate appearances, sitting .294 on the year. 5 hits, a run driven in. And he's up here in a big spot early for the Hawks. 2 outs, bases loaded. Myers takes the first pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1. The 0-1 swung on a miss, and now it's 0-2. A good fastball there from Brian Webb. And now he's one pitch away from getting out of it. 3 hits on the inning for the Hawks, none of which have come around to score yet. Webb sets the 0-2. Way outside, a waste pitch there. And it's 2-1. Court Myers, the super utility man. He's used just about anywhere you need him on the infield. The 1-2 from Webb. Swung on and missed. And it's a big strikeout for out number 3 in the bottom of the first. The Hawks leave them loaded. The Aztecs will look to build on their 3-0 lead when Luke Eno, the designated hitter, comes to the plate in the top of the second, and that'll be when we come back. Back for the top half of the second inning. And it's the right fielder, Luke Eno. He'll get us started. Eno on the season, hitting .194. He's played in 23 games, so Just having an off year. As senior. He takes a strike there, and it's 0-1. If you're just joining us, just one hit allowed so far by Adam Gonzalez, but it was a big 2-run home run in the top half of the first inning. 2 runners reached on a hit by pitch. That's a high chopper to Lucas Hamzid. 30 fires across to Trey Cutchin in time to get Eno. And there is one away for Daniel Sotelo now. Score that a 5-3 put out. And there is one away. Daniel Sotelo on the year, hitting .370. He's a junior. 10 hits, 7 runs driven in. 2 doubles. Sotelo, a left-handed hitter, as you see on your screen there. A nice breaking ball to start Sotelo off, and it's 0-1. Gonzalez, we've seen it all year, likes to work slow. Delivers a fastball outside there, and it's 1-1. Gonzalez completely from the stretch now. Delivers a curveball in the dirt, and it's 2-1. Mateo Baker, the left fielder, hitting in the 9th position, waits on deck. 2-1 missed outside, and now it's 3-1. For Gonzalez coming into play today, .06 ERA, 1-1 on the year in 5 appearances. That one's grounded to Hamza at third. He collects, fires across, and there are 2 away. And now it's the left fielder, Mateo Baker. Gonzalez would like to get out number 3 here, so we wouldn't have to go back to that top half of the order. Cade Verduzco, the center fielder, the leadoff hitter for the Aztecs, would be next. But for now, it's Mateo Baker. Baker, .379 on the year. Seems like every one of these Aztec players is hitting above .300 except for Luke Eno. Gonzalez sets. Here's the 0-1. In there, a curveball called strike 2. Gonzalez, when he has that curveball working, looks very good. He's ready on 0-2. Here's his. This is up for a ball, and it's 1-2. Kind of a waste fastball up and in there from Gonzalez. We'll see if he tries to get bigger to offer it a curveball here on 1-2. Sets at the chest the pitch. Curveball missed outside. And Baker wouldn't go after it. Count back even at 2. And the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of inning number 2. Delivery from Gonzalez. Curveball swung on, fouled off. Count stays at 2-2. Mateo Baker, 11 hits on the season. 8 runs driven in, 3 doubles. He's also walked 3 times, struck out 6 times. Swung on, grounded to the second baseman, Court Myers. He comes up with it. And the inning is over. A nice 1-2-3 inning for Adam Gonzalez. And no further damage can be done by Corona. It's a 3-0 ball game in favor of the Aztecs. But the Hawks will have Stephen Jones, A.J. Peterson, and Aaron Fisher in the bottom half of the second when we come back. Stephen Jones, the Hawks catcher this afternoon, will lead things off. Here in the bottom of the second, the Hawks still trailing 3-0. As Jones takes a first pitch strike and it's 0-1. Stephen Jones on the year. This is just his 5th game. He's yet to record a hit. So it'll be nice in his last home game here at Highland High School for him to do that. Goes down 0-2 to Brian Webb. Webb looking in for his side. From the catcher, Jack Schobinger. The 0-2 on its way. It's low in the dirt. Jones won't chase, and it's 1-2. Stephen Jones, A.J. Peterson, and Aaron Fisher. 7, 8, and 9 for the Hawks in the bottom of the second. Webb's 1-2. Swung on, grounded left side. The third baseman, Brian Calmer, collects, throws, and he's safe. The first baseman, Daniel Sotelo, couldn't keep his foot on the bag, and Stephen Jones is aboard with nobody out in the inning. Curious to see if they rule that an error. It looks like they will. I believe it's an E3 because the throw was there, but Sotelo just couldn't keep his foot on the bag. Jones still hitless, but he's aboard here with nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Now it's the left fielder, A.J. Peterson. Peterson appearing in just his 4th game of the year. On the first pitch, lifts one to right field. Luke Eno is there, and he makes the play. And Jones will have to revert to first base. Now there is one away for Aaron Fisher. Fisher appearing in his 9th game of the year. Also hitless in 6 at-bats. He has scored a run, however. And he's the DH in today's ball game. Has a chance with 1 out, and Jones on first. Webb throws on over to first base, and Jones is back safely. Webb looking in for his sign. Sets and delivers. Fastball missed outside, and it's 1-0. For Corona on the year, according to Max Preps, they are nationally ranked 36th in the nation. Some prestigious very prestigious spot for Corona del Sol up there in the top 50 to even be considered in the top 100 as Webb throws over to first base. He's back safely. Very expensive real estate up there. Their overall record on the year, 20-4. However, they are 8-0 in their section. And if I'm not mistaken, have only lost to Mountain View this season. Mountain View, the #1 overall seed. That one's lifted by Aaron Fisher into center field. Then it's going to get down into the Bermuda Triangle behind second base. No man's land. And it's a single for Aaron Fisher, his first of the season. And it's first and second for the top of the order, and that's Connor Webster stepping in now. Webster struck out looking in his first at-bat against Brian Webb. Coming into this ball game, .243 batting average for Webster. Leads the team in plate appearances with 101. 18 hits, 14 runs driven in. 3 doubles, 2 triples, and a homer. He's down 0-1 to Brian Webb, the pitch. This low and inside, runners go, and the throw is in plenty of time to beat Stephen Jones at third, so there are 2 away. Aaron Fisher moves into second base. Jones out on a 2-5, caught stealing. Now 2 away and 1 man in scoring position for Webster. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lifted right side and foul. And it's 1-2. Wind picking up here in Gilbert. It's been a windy week all around the valley. Temperatures have been lower than normal as well. Very nice, especially as a resident. Somebody who's lived there their whole life. This cool weather in the middle of April is very nice. Oh, and they got him at second base. Brian Webb stepped off and picked off Aaron Fisher at second base, whose lead was getting a little bit long out there. Too long for Webb's liking, And he throws over and picks him off. So nothing across for the Hawks in the inning. And Corona will have the top of the order to lead things off in the top of the third when we come back. Top of the order for Corona del Sol, Cade Verduzco, Wyatt Berry, and Matt Novus. They'll get things started here in inning number 3 for the visiting Aztecs of Corona del Sol. Adam Gonzalez still out there on the mound. And delivers a strike on the outside part to start off Verduzco. Verduzco hitting .373 this season. 0-1 breaking ball is on the inside part for a strike, and it's 0-2. Verduzco, 28 hits, 10 runs driven in, 10 doubles. Ties him for the team lead. Actually, ties him for second in doubles. Matt Novus is actually first in that category. He's got Verduzco and Brian Calmer bested by 1. He's got 11 doubles. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Cade Verduzco. Oh, and that hit him. Second time he's been hitting the ball game. And looked like it hit him in the wrist. Maybe that didn't hit him, as he's still hanging around the batter's box there. Went off the knob of his bat, possibly. And now they're going to give him first base. So the third hit by pitch of the ball game for Adam Gonzalez. We'll put a man on with 1 out, and now it's Wyatt Berry. Berry hitting .300 on the year. 18 hits, 17 runs driven in. Barry in his first at-bat. Grounded out to the shortstop, Webster. Gonzalez steps off, throws over. Verduzco is back safely. Second time Verduzco has been hit in the ball game. He led off the top of the first with a hit by pitch. Eventually came around to score on a sac fly. I guess it wasn't a sac fly, more of a line out to left field by Matt Novus, by the way. Novus on deck. Gonzalez steps off, throws over, and Verduzco back safely. Runner goes. Hit and run, pops up to right field. Thornton will get there, and he won't have a play on Cade Verduzco, who gets back to first base in time. So a fly out to the right fielder for Barry, and now it's the DH, Matt Novus. Novus, his first time up. An RBI line out. Gonzalez steps off, throws over. Verduzco back. And now the wind really picking up. It's blowing out to dead center field. That American flag out there. Blowing straight out. Swung on a miss to pitch in the dirt by Gonzalez. Fools Novus. And it's 0-1. Matt Novus, 466 coming into play. 34 hits, 24 runs driven in. Gonzalez steps off. And Verduzco back safely. Gonzalez sets at the chin. And he steps off. Possibly didn't like the pitch there. Wanted to restart. He'll get that opportunity here. No balls and a strike with one out. Curveball in there. Ooh, maybe not. That pitch has been there a couple of times today, but the home plate umpire says it's inside to Novus. And the count is even at 1-1. Novus not fooled by the breaking ball there. Gonzalez sets. And again, he'll check on Verduzco. Verduzco accumulating a lot of dirt on that bright orange jersey. Gonzalez set now. That time the breaking ball was there. And it's 1-2. If I had to make a prediction here, I'd think possibly a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Maybe you go back inside, because Novus hasn't been biting on that inside part. Runner goes. Breaking ball fouled off. Count remains 1-2. I was right about the inside part of the plate, but Adam Gonzalez elects to go with the curveball. And now he's thrown that pitch 3 straight times, so I'd be surprised to see him go back to it. Runner goes. Curveball again on the inside part. Novus takes it for a ball, and Cade Verduzco has his second stolen base of the ball game. He's in safely. Count now even at 2-2. Still just one hit for Corona del Sol. It was the home run by Hunter Haas. Swung on, lifted on the infield. Court Myers says he has it on the lip of the grass, and he does. And there are two away. And now it's Hunter Haas. Again, Haas and his first at-bat. Actually, scratch that, ladies and gentlemen. Haas hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Brian Calmer had the two-run home run. Calmer on deck now. Haas looking to make it happen out of the cleanup spot in the order for Corona del Sol. 2 outs and a man on second. Verduzco takes a good lead. And the 0-0 pitch misses up and away for ball one. .493 average for Hunter Haas. About as hot as you can be. The 1-0 in there, lifted in center field. Alec Deaton a couple of steps to his left, and he's there to make the play for out number 3. Nothing comes across for Corona del Sol, and aside from that first inning for Adam Gonzalez, he's had a pretty good game so far. Highland will look to put some runs on the board when we come back. It'll be the top of the order, Connor Webster, Trey Cutchin, and Lucas Hamza. And now Connor Webster will lead things off as we come back for the bottom of the third inning. Webster will get the at-bat because Aaron Fisher was picked off at second base to end the bottom of the second. Lifted into left field, and Mateo Baker made a nice play on it, and there is one away. First pitch swinging for Webster. Comes up empty that time. Roll it at L7 in your scorecard. And now it's Trey Cutchin. Cutchin has one of the 4 base hits in the ball game for the Hawks thus far. He tallied the first one of the ball game. A single with 1 out in the first. Brian Webb missed inside with a fastball, and it's 1-0. Lefty misses outside that time, and it's 2-0. We haven't seen Brian Webb lose his control very often in this game. And if he's having a little bit of issues locating his pitches, which it looks like he might be, as that one misses outside, and it's 3-0. Hawks could take advantage of that. Likely a take sign here on 3-0 for Cutchin. And it is a take sign, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk for Trey Cutchin, and now it's the 3-hitter Lucas Hamza. Hamza on the afternoon, a 1-for-1 effort. Singled back in the first. The middleman in a line of 3 consecutive singles by Cutchin, Hamza, and Dakota Thornton. Hamza takes a strike up and away, and it's 0-1. Boy, when Webb is locating his pitches, he can paint. And now, in what's been a cloudy day for the most part, the sun is showing its bright, shiny face behind us. As Hamza fouls one off, it's 0-2. Dakota Thornton waits on deck. He would hit next. The 0-2 from Webb. Kicks and delivers. Lifted again behind second base. Let's see who wants it. And it's the shortstop, Hunter Haas. Haas and the second baseman, Wyatt Berry, almost ran into each other there, but some good late communication by Haas, who takes it for the second out, and now it's Dakota Thornton. Thornton singled in his first at-bat in the first as well. A 2-out opportunity with a man on first. That's Cutchin. Cutchin reached on a walk. Brian Webb's first pitch outside, and it's 1-0. Well, we know if Dakota Thornton gets a pitch that he likes, he can take it out. Hasn't done it here at home yet. He's been close a couple of times. A couple of big hits off the outfield wall. Those ended up as doubles as Webb misses outside, and it's 2-0. I'm sure Thornton would like to go yard for the first time at home this season in his last home game. Webb throws over to first, and Cutchin is back safely. Now the wind has died down a little bit, blowing out to right field. The 2-0. Missed outside. Webb looking in for his sign from Jack Schobinger. The 3-0. Missed outside, ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning for Brian Webb. And now we'll see a mound visit. Alec Deaton, the center fielder, he'll hit next after the mound visit. The infield comes into the mound. Well, while we have the time, a big thank you to everybody who has tuned in with us thus far anytime this season. If this is your first game, if this is your 5th game, thank you for hanging out with us. We enjoy what we do out here. We love bringing you folks the ball game at home. You can't be here with us. Of course, a big thank you to everybody who has been able to make this happen, namely Denise Gonzalez, the Highland Baseball president, booster president. Alicia Holman has helped us out immensely with equipment and costs that if we weren't where we are now, we wouldn't be able to afford. So very big thank you to everybody who's made this happen as Deaton swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Webb sets, takes up and away, and it's 1-1. Sun going in and out of the clouds. southwest of the ball field here today. A 1-1. Deaton reached out and tapped it. The third baseman, Brian Comer, he'll take it to third base for the third out of the inning, so the Hawks can't get Thornton or Cutchin across. It's still a 3-0 ball game. Corona will look to build on that when we come back. The third baseman, Brian Comer, with the 2-run homer in the first, leads off the top of the fourth. Takes a strike there, and it's 0-1. Adam Gonzalez out for his fourth inning of work. Still has allowed just one hit, and that was the Comer homer. It's inside. Oh, a called strike. I apologize, folks. It's 0-2. Comer made it look like that pitch was on the inside part of the plate. Home plate umpire liked it, however. A good fastball, and it's 0-2. The 0-2 offering. Curveball, which Comer lifts into left field and plops down for a base hit. Nice piece of hitting by the Aztec third baseman. And it's a leadoff single for Corona in the fourth. And Brian Webb, the pitcher, steps in for the Aztecs now. In his first at-bat, he grounded out to the shortstop Webster. He'll have a chance here with nobody out and a man on. Webb could help himself out here if he was able to drive in Comer at first base. Both hits surrendered by Adam Gonzalez have come off of the bat of Brian Comer. Webb squares around the bunt, pulls back, and did so in time. Count is 1-0. This is an opportunity that Corona hasn't had since, well, the first inning. Check that. The runner goes, and pitch is fouled off by Brian Webb. They did have an opportunity with nobody out and a man on first in the third inning when Cade Verduzco was hit by a pitch. But the 2, 3, and 4 batters went down without a fight, and Verduzco couldn't come across. So Gonzalez has been in this situation before. The 1-ball, 1-strike offering. Court Myers, what a play! And they got him at first. Myers, the senior, diving to his left, getting up and making the throw to Trey Cutchin in time to get Brian Webb, robbing him of a hit there. And there is one away. What a play by Myers. Now it's the right fielder, Luke Eno. Eno grounded out to the third baseman, Lucas Hamza, his first time. Eno lifts one into shallow center field. Connor Webster is there. He makes the play, and there are two away. Quick one-pitch at-bat for Luke Eno. And now Daniel Sotelo will have to make something happen with 2 outs and a man on second if the Aztecs want to extend their lead here in this inning. First pitch missed in the dirt. Stephen Jones got down to block it. Good job by the senior Jones behind the plate this afternoon. For just joining us, all of the Hawks on the field this afternoon are seniors playing in their last home game here at Highland High School. Gonzalez delivers a strike on the outside half, and the count is even at 1. 1-1 swung on, grounded to Webster, a short and it got right through the wickets. A run's going to score on the E6, and Corona del Sol is going to take a 4-0 lead. Connor Webster just tried to come up with it too quickly. Went right through the 5-hole, if you will. And it's a 4-run ball game. Corona extending its lead on the error by Webster. Now it's Mateo Baker, the left fielder. He grounded out to Court Myers, his first time up in the second inning. That was the final out of the second inning. An inning in which the Aztecs went down 1-2-3 on 3 straight groundouts. Baker gets ahead 1-0. Gonzalez steps off. Throws over to first base, but Brian Calmer is back safely. Check that. That's Daniel Sotelo. Calmer scored on the E6. Big curveball just missed the top of the zone. And it's 2-0. Cade Verduzco, the center fielder, on deck. Gonzalez sets, kicks and delivers. Another breaking ball. That one in there for a strike. And it's 2-1. All of a sudden, the sun has come out. And it's a beautiful day. The wind has died down a little bit, still blowing out to dead center field. But it feels like baseball weather. As Gonzalez steps off, throws to first base, and Sotelo back. "73 degrees. Very nice April afternoon. That one swung on right past Trey Cutchin at first base. They're going to send the runner to third, and Sotelo is in there safely. A 2-out knock by Mateo Baker, and it's first and third with 2 away. And now the leadoff man, Cade Verduzco, will get an opportunity. Verduzco has reached twice, but hasn't recorded an official at-bat yet. He's been hit by a pitch twice. Also has 2 stolen bases on the day. And Verduzco, I would assume, would like to pad that .373 batting average and show the crowd what he can do here. Hasn't had a chance in his first 2 at-bats. Takes an off-speed pitch up that time, and it's 1-0. Verduzco, the 6th man to hit in the inning for the Aztecs. Runner goes. Jones throws back to third to try to get Sotelo. And Mateo Baker is into second base without a throw. So second and third now on a 2-0 count with 2 outs for the leadoff man, Verduzco. Gonzalez looking in for a sign, sets, kicks, delivers. Another breaking ball that missed up. Now it's 3-0. Gonzalez in danger of putting Verduzco on for the 3rd time in the game. 3-0. In there for a strike, a fastball up and away. Wyatt Berry would be next. Berry 0 for 2 on the afternoon, a ground out and a fly out. The 3-1 from Gonzalez, missed up, ball 4. And now the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Wyatt Berry. Again, Berry 0 for 2. Grounded out to Connor Webster and flew out to Dakota Thornton in right. Big spot for the second baseman. Coming into play was hitting .300 on the season. 17 runs driven in. Gonzalez misses away and it's 1-0. Fastball that he just couldn't get in the zone. .1-0 curveball outside, but a strike. Much to the dismay of the Corona del Sol crowd. Count is even at 1-1. Swung on a weak ground to the shortstop. Webster, he controls that one, flips on to second, and the inning is over. So just 1 run comes across. It's Brian Calmer, and he scores on an error by Connor Webster at shortstop. It's a 4-0 ball game. The Hawks need some runs. When we come back in the top of the 4th, it'll be Court Myers, Stephen Jones, and A.J. Peterson. Set to go in the bottom of the 4th as Court Myers steps in for his second at-bat of the ball game. Struck out swinging his first time. Takes a ball up, and it's 1-0. Myers, Jones, and Peterson here in the 4th for the Hawks. Two and 0. Brian Webb sets at the hips, kicks and delivers. Myers swings, lofts one into right field. Luke Eno Camping under it, he makes the play, and there are one away. There is one away, excuse me. Now it's the catcher, number 17, Stephen Jones, who reached on an error his last time, but was caught stealing, trying to advance from second to third. One of 2 outs made on the bases back in that second inning. Jones squares around a bunt, pulls back, and it's 1-0. A 1-0 fastball taken for a strike. Now the count is locked at 1. A ball and a strike. That one in the dirt. Jones doesn't chase. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out in the inning. The fly out by Myers. Brian Webb steps off there, something in his eye. Steps back on. Webb sets, he's ready on 2-1. Inside for a strike. And it's 2-2. Jones threw his hips back there in an effort to get out of the way of the pitch, make it look like a ball. That one is a ball, and it's 3-2. It's low. Jones looking to get aboard for the second time this afternoon. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded left side. The shortstop, Haas, throws across his body. And he made the play. What a play by the shortstop, Hunter Haas. Jones couldn't leg it out. And it's a pretty out, number 2, as that'll bring in the left fielder, A.J. Peterson. What a play by Hunter Haas. A.J. Peterson flew out his first time up. Now 1 for 5 on the year. Excuse me, 2 for 5 on the year. Patterson takes up and away, ball 1. Quick meeting in between the mound and home plate. Looks like Webb and Schobinger are all set to go. Aaron Fisher, the DH, would be next. He waits on deck. Fisher reached on a single. But Peterson grounds one to the third baseman, Calmer. And the throw gets away. Peterson will take second base. He'll round second base, but he will stay there. How about that? A great job backing up the play by the catcher, Jack Schobinger, who chases that ball down the right field line. And now there's a man on second base after the throwing error by Brian Calmer, with 2 outs for the 9-hitter, Aaron Fisher. Fisher singled in the second inning, was picked off to end the inning, however. Takes up and away for a ball. Webb ready, the 1-0. Swung on, fouled back. Count even at a ball and a strike. For the Hawks, this is their last home game of the season. They have one more game tomorrow afternoon at Corona del Sol. Webb throws back to second base, but Peterson is back safely. Webb set on a ball and a strike. Swung on, bounced a couple of feet down the first baseline, but foul. And it's 1-2. Well, if Aaron Fisher was to reach here, Connor Webster and the top of the Hawks order would follow. Highland still scoreless in this one. It's a 4-0 game. 4 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for Corona. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Highland. And Fisher swings and misses. And that'll do it for the bottom of the 4th. Nothing comes across for the Hawks. Corona still leads at 4-0. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, a 4-0 game will continue here in the top of the 5th at Highland High School in Gilbert, Arizona. We welcome you back. My name is Jordan Lang. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. The Corona del Sol Aztecs visiting the Highland Hawks. They have the lead through 4 innings thus far. Just 3 hits for the Aztecs. But 4 runs have come across. Adam Gonzalez still on the mound out there for his 5th inning of work. And Matt Novus, the 3-hole hitting DH, takes a ball, and it's 1-0. Gonzalez ready. Delivers a strike, and it's 1-1. The inside part of the plate being called for a strike on most occasions tonight, as it is there as well. Gonzalez is 1-1. Curveball lifted into right field. Dakota Thornton takes a couple steps back and to his right, and he's there. And there is 1 away. Hunter Haas now 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Flew out to the center fielder Alec Deaton and was hit by a pitch in the first. Came around to score the 2nd run of the game for the Aztecs. Was driven in on the 2-run home run by Brian Calmer. That one swung on and fouled off down the third base line, 0-1. We've said it a couple of times on the broadcast. Each time Haas has come up to the plate, he's got the highest batting average on the team of the regulars, hitting .493 coming into play. The 0-1 misses low. Jones blocks it in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Looking at the scorecard, Adam Gonzalez has yet to strike an Aztec out. That one's lifted into left field, and it's going to get over the head of left fielder Peterson. Hunter Haas digging for second base, and he'll be in there standing up. It's a one-out double. And now here's some danger in the third baseman, Brian Calmer. Already a two-run homer and a single, and 2 runs scored in today's contest. He's got a chance with 1 out and a man on second. Gonzalez missed with a breaking ball away, and it's 1-0. So far, it's only really been the first inning that's hurt Adam Gonzalez. He allowed 3 runs in that inning. Since has only allowed 1. And that 1 run since was Brian Calmer. Calmer led off the top of the 4th with a single, came around to score on an E6. Connor Webster let a ground ball get right through his legs. 2-0 to Calmer. Curveball on the outside edge for a strike. 2-1. Gonzo looking in for a sign from Jones. He sets now. Looks back at the runner at second base. Kicks and delivers. Missed in the dirt with a breaking ball. 3-1. Brian Calmer showing his patience at the plate. Didn't want to chase the low curve there. 3-1 now. Should see a good pitch to hit. Fastball away. And Calmer draws a 1-out walk. First and second now for the pitcher Webb.
Pitcher number 6,
Brian Webb 0 for 2. In his last at bat, Court Myers made a great diving play to his left, got up and threw to first to retire Webb on a ground out. And his first at bat, Brian Webb grounded out to the shortstop Connor Webster. First pitch from Gonzalez, up and in for a ball, and it's 1-0. I would think Gonzalez would be working down here, seeing as Webb has grounded out twice, and they've got a double play situation here. Webb takes a strike. Infield is playing at double play depth. There's a big hole on the left side between the shortstop Webster, who's playing behind the runner at second base, Haas, and Lucas Hamsover at third. Webb takes an off-speed pitch off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Right fielder Luke Eno on deck. Eno 0 for 2 on the day. Gonzalez steps off. Looks back the runner at second base. He'll step back on and get his sign again. And we'll do it one more time. Gonzalez sets the 2-1. Missed up and away with a fastball. 3 balls and a strike. And now, if Gonzalez was to lose Webb here, I mean, you never want to load the bases, but possibly the best hitter to load the bases for, as Gonzalez puts Webb on by way of the walk. As it's Luke Eno walking to the plate. Eno coming into play today. Just a 194 batting average, 0 for 2 on the day as well. So if there's a guy that you want to face with the bases loaded and 1 out, it's the guy who came in hitting 194. All things considered, probably due for a base knock. So Gonzalez is going to have to work carefully as manager Scott Cook is going to meet with Gonzalez and catcher Stephen Jones on the mound. Doesn't look like he's done quite yet. And Cook will walk back towards the dugout. And now let the battle commence. Adam Gonzalez on the hill with one out. Bases loaded for Luke Eno, the right fielder. He's grounded out to third and popped out to the shortstop today. 0-0 pitch is taken outside for a strike. And Gonzalez gets ahead. It's 0-1. Again, still no strikeouts for Gonzalez in the ballgame. The 0-1. Swung on, lifted into left center field. Gonna get down. And Luke Eno was certainly due. That's gonna score at least two. And they'll hold the third runner at third. It's a 2 RBI double for Luke Eno. And it's a 6-0 Corona del Sol lead. So both Hunter Haas and Brian Calmer come around to score. Brian Webb is in at third base, and Luke Eno. A clutch 2 RBI double with the bases loaded, and that's going to be it for Adam Gonzalez in his final appearance, likely of his high school tenure. We've got some gloves being thrown around on the field. We will get the changes when we come back as Adam Gonzalez steps off the mound for the last time. So Trey Cutchin, the new pitcher for the Hawks, as he promptly bounces a fastball in there for ball one. The infield playing in for the Hawks. Other changes include Stephen Jones moving from catcher over to first base, and coming in to fill the spot of Adam Gonzalez is the new catcher, Tanner Score. So Cutchin remains in the batting order. Jones remains in the batting order. And score comes into the game behind the plate. Now it's 1-1 as Sotelo fouls one off. Second and third, one out. Swung on. A high hopper. Court Myers jumps to make the play. The run scores, but the out is recorded at first base. It's 7-0 on the RBI ground out by Daniel Sotelo. And now the left fielder Mateo Baker, who singled his last time up, will have a two-out opportunity with a man on third. Swung on, grounded to the shortstop Webster. He'll have to make a quick play, and he can't handle it. I would think that they're going to rule that an error again on Webster. Let's see the scoreboard. They are going to rule it an error. So Baker reaches on an E6. The run comes home, and it's 8-0. Now all of a sudden, we're at the top of the order for Cade Verduzco. And he swings, pops one up on the infield. Court Myers on the edge of the outfield grass will put it away to retire this side. But not before 4 runs come across for the Aztecs, highlighted by a 2 RBI double by Luke Eno, the right fielder. It's an 8-0 ball game. Highland will look to claw its way back. It'll be Webster, Cutchin, and Hamza in the bottom of the 5th, right after this. Welcome back for the bottom of the 5th inning. A quick middle of the inning there. A new pitcher for the Aztecs with an 8-0 lead. It's the right-hander, David Utagawa. Utagawa listed on the roster as a right-handed pitcher and an infielder. The second sophomore to take the hill for Corona del Sol this afternoon. Stands 6'3" tall, 200 pounds. And he's 0-1 on Connor Webster to start out the 5th. Webster lifts one right side. Gonna get out of play. No play for the catcher, Jack Schobinger. Count even at 1-1. For David Utagawa on the year, a very inflated ERA, 10.50 in 2 appearances. Just 3 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 runs, all of those runs, I should say, came earned as Webster takes strike 2. Utagawa has also walked 4 and struck out 2. He's faced 20 batters coming into play today. 1-2 swung on a miss by Webster, and David Utagawa quickly has a strikeout to start off his time in the ball game here in the top of the 5th. And now it's Trey Cutchin, the new pitcher, at the plate for the Hawks with 1 away. Cutchin 1 for 1 with a walk on the day. Has reached base twice. And on base percentage for Trey Cutchin coming into play, it was .478, and now after getting on base twice today, you'd have to think that's going to go up even more. Cutchin takes a ball. It's 1-0. Utagawa misses low, and it's 2-0. Utagawa looking in for his sign, working from the windup. Kicks and delivers. Cutchin drops down a bunt on 2-0, but it's foul. Tried to bunt for a base hit down the first base line there. Couldn't get it down in fair territory. 2 balls and a strike. Lucas Hamza will hit next. And if Hamza reaches, it'll be Dakota Thornton. 2-1. Missed up and away. And now Cutchin has himself in a nice hitter's count at 3-1. We'll see what David Utagawa throws up there for Cutchin. Likely a fastball. Here it is. It is a fastball, and Cutchin lines it right back through the middle. Great piece of hitting by Trey Cutchin on 3-1. On base for the 3rd time this afternoon. His 2nd single of the game. And now it's the 3rd baseman, Lucas Hamza. Hamza 1 for 2. He singled back in the 1st. But he popped out on his last at-bat. That was in the bottom of the 3rd. Popped out to the shortstop, Hunter Haas. Utagawa out of the stretch now. Sets at the chest, kicks, and delivers. Fastball up and away. And it's 1-0. The 1-0. Swung on a miss by Hamza. A fastball low and inside. Hamza couldn't get around on it. Count is now even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Man on first, that's Trey Cutchin. Utagawa sets, kicks, delivers. A curveball on the outside edge for a strike. Fooled Hamza there. That's the first time we've seen that pitch from Utagawa. A slow looping curveball, and now it's 1-2. The pitch. Another curveball. Hamza doesn't go after that one. Low and away in the dirt, 2-2. Hawks could use some base runners here, trying to come back from an 8-0 deficit. The 2-2. Another curveball missed up. That's 3 straight curveballs from Utagawa. And now Lucas Hamza's worked the count full to 3-2. Swung on line to the left field, a base hit. And it's 1st and 2nd now for Dakota Thornton, with just 1 away. Thornton has reached twice in the ball game. A single and a walk. Has not advanced past first base, however, as we'll have a mound visit from catcher Schobinger. Goes out to talk to his pitcher Utagawa. Looking at the Corona del Sol roster, pretty surprising to see the number of sophomores on that team. They've got quite a few. And normally with these 6A ball clubs, as Thornton takes a strike on the outside part, you don't see a lot of sophomores on the roster, especially on the varsity team. Generally it's juniors and seniors, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sophomores on this team for Corona del Sol, as Thornton takes away 1-1. A bright future for this team. They've got that many sophomores on the squad, and if Brian Webb and David Utagawa, from what we've seen, can keep up what they're doing, this program will be a good program for a long time, as Thornton fouls one off, 1-2. A couple of sophomore infielders, a sophomore catcher. And Utagawa and Brian Webb, the two sophomore pitchers on the roster. As Thornton lifts one up and over the screen, still 1-2. The Aztecs head coached by David Webb. Not sure if he's got any relation to Brian Webb. That one's taken outside. The count is even at 2. Curveball that missed. Thornton wouldn't chase it. Still one out in the inning. And Alec Deaton, the center fielder, waits on deck. The 2-2. Swung on, lifted into right field. Luke Eno will not get there. It's going to get down, and the Hawks are going to get a run on the scoreboard. Eno can't handle it out there in right field. Cutchin comes across to score. And Lucas Hamza is in at third base after the RBI double by Dakota Thornton. And finally, in the 5th inning, the Hawks are on the board. And now it's the center fielder, Alec Deaton. And we're going to see him out visit one of the Corona del Sol assistant coaches. Or it could be the head coach, David Webb, not sure. One of the coaches is going to go out and talk to David Utagawa. The infield is in on the mound. As Utagawa is in a little bit of trouble here in the top of the bottom of the 5th. A long mound visit as the home plate umpire will go out and break it up. The infielders will head back to their respective positions. And we'll get back underway shortly here. In the meantime, Alec Deaton on the day, 0 for 2. Struck out swinging and grounded out to the third baseman, Brian Calmer. Calmer stepped on the bag to end the bottom of the 3rd. Left the bases loaded for the Hawks. Ball 1. Utagawa sets from the stretch. Fastball that missed. 2-0. Again, still just one out in the inning. 2nd and 3rd for Deaton. Court Myers, Stephen Jones, and A.J. Peterson to hit after Deaton. Fastball in there for a strike, 2-1. Eight runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for Corona. 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors for Highland. Deaton takes up and it's 3-1. Utagawa's 3-1. In there for a strike, 3-2. Deaton took a low fastball. The 3-2 pitch on its way. Swung on, ground to the third baseman, Calmer, who comes up with it, fires across to first. In time for the out, but a run does come across. Lucas Hamza crosses the plate for the 2nd run of the ball game for the Hawks. And it's 8-2 on the 5-3 ground out by Alec Deaton. And now the second baseman, Court Myers, will have a chance. With Dakota Thornton out there at second base with 2 away. In the dirt, got away from Schobinger. But Thornton will stay put at second base. Now Schobinger led out to the mound and talked to Utagawa. Possibly for which pitch to throw next. Or maybe to just calm him down a little bit. Utagawa has a 6-run lead here in the bottom of the fifth. The 1-0 to Court Myers. In there for a strike. A good fastball on the outside part. Count even at a ball and a strike. Swung on, right field, but foul. The first baseman. Well, it doesn't look like Daniel Sotelo out there anymore. But whoever's out there playing first base couldn't catch up to it. Looks like there have been a couple of defensive changes. We'll get that for you as soon as we can. Possibly Teddy Ladley out there at first base. At least it looks like a number 11 over there. That one gets to the screen. And Thornton, he'll move into third base now, just 90 feet away from crossing as the third run of the ball game. For the Hawks, that is. And now Myers locked in a 2-ball and 2-strike count. 2 away, bottom of the fifth inning. 2 runs have come home for the Hawks thus far. The 2-2. Swung on, lifted right side, but foul. And Eno's not going to catch up to it. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now at first base, it is Teddy Ladley out there. Senior, 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. A big guy out there. As David Utagawa looks in for his sign, he sets. Kicks and delivers. Swung on a miss by Myers. And the Aztecs are out of the inning. But not before 2 runs come across. It's an 8-2 ball game as we head to the top of the 6th. We'll be right back. Well, the defensive changes for Corona catching up to us now as hitting for Wyatt Berry, the former second baseman, is now Nick Peretti. Nick Peretti wearing number 21, an infielder, a senior. Stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, 180 pounds. Left-handed hitter, open stance, no batting gloves for Peretti. He takes a strike. On the season, a .333 batting average in 17 games played. 4 for 12. Also 4 runs driven in. He's got a double to his name as well. 0-2. Wind has started to pick up again. Still blowing out the dead center. Cutchin's 0-2. Missed up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 8-2 score a little bit deceiving this afternoon. As Cutchin misses inside, it's 2-2. Because Corona only has 5 hits. They've only had to put 5 men on base by way of the hit. And a called strike 3 on Nick Peretti. He goes down looking in his first at-bat of the game, and there is 1 away. And now it's Aaron Garcia who's going to hit for Matt Novus. But anyway, getting back to the point I was making earlier, Highland has 7 hits in the ball game. And they've only scored 2 runs as Garcia takes a ball. And it's 1-0. Swung on, lifted. Court Myers and Dakota Thornton now will take it. 2 away. Now Hunter Haas. Haas, despite coming into the game hitting almost 500 on the year, it's gone 1 for 2 on the day. A double, run scored, hit by pitch. Check that, 2 runs scored on the afternoon for Haas. And he'll face Trey Cutchin here for the first time. Swung on, lifted. Left side but foul. That one definitely looked like it had home run distance. Ball and a strike. That one missed. 2-1. Looks like we've got another new hitter on deck for Corona del Sol. That's number 9, Caden Freeze. But for now, it's Cutchin and Haas, the 3-1, up and away, ball 4. And Hunter Haas has a walk. And now it's Caden Freeze, the hitter for Brian Calmer. Freeze takes a strike to start things off, and it's 0-1. Freeze hitting 200 on the year. Has played in 11 games, this being his 12th. 3 hits, 1 run driven in. He scored 4 runs for the Aztecs. Cutchin sets the 0-1. Line right back at Cutchin. He almost put a glove on it, and now Court Myers can't make the play. Almost a fantastic play by Trey Cutchin, who stuck his glove up there. Went off the tip. Grounded over to Court Myers. He couldn't corral it. And give him a base hit on that, as there is now 2 men aboard with 2 outs for, let's see, who is that? That's number 20, David Utagawa. Utagawa takes the spot of Brian Webb in the lineup. And it's 2-0. Utagawa hasn't had an at-bat this year, according to our stat sheets from Max Preps. He's played in just 3 games, but hasn't recorded an at-bat. And his first at-bat, he draws a 4-pitch walk. That was easy, says David Utagawa. And now the bases are loaded, and some more substitutions for Corona del Sol. And it's number 18, Colton Kiefer, a senior outfielder and infielder, 6 foot tall, 200 pounds at the plate. At this point, manager David Webb over there in the first base dugout just wants to get all of his guys in the game. An 8-2 lead here in the top of the 6th. Kiefer hitting .379 on the year, 17 games played, 11 hits, 7 runs driven in, 2 doubles. Also a triple for Kiefer. Takes the ball there, and it's 1-0. The base is loaded all of a sudden with 2 away. Cutchin kicks, delivers. Popped up in the infield. And Court Myers at second base. They'll make the play. The Aztecs leave them loaded. It's an 8-2 ball game. The Hawks need runs. Stephen Jones, A.J. Peterson, and Aaron Fisher will try to make something happen in the bottom of the 6th right after this. Well, some more substitutions in the game, this time for Highland, as Stephen Jones was set off to lead off the inning. And now it's going to be number 9, Ethan Caudillo, taking the at-bat. Caudillo coming into play today. Has played in 12 games, just 1 at-bat. Hasn't recorded a hit, but he has scored a run. Takes a strike there. Utagawa still out there for the Aztecs. That one in there as well, and it's 0-2. The 0-2 on its way. Up and in. 1-2. Both benches emptying their players here into the lineup, that is. One and two swung on and missed by Caudillo, and there is one away. And we'll see another pinch hitter. Hitting for A.J. Peterson is number 11, Tristan Castillo. Let's see, Castillo on the year has played in just 2 games, 3 plate appearances, 2 at-bats, no hits. Castillo looking for his first at-bat of the game. He takes inside, and it's 1-0. Tristan Castillo, also a senior. So this is his last home game for Highland. He takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Caudillo, who just took the at-bat for Jones, also a senior. All the seniors coming into the game for Highland. As Castillo takes slow and inside, 2-1. David Utagawa is still out there on the hill for Corona. The 2-1. Swung on, lifted, foul. Third base side, count even at 2. Utagawa to Castillo. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Swung on, grounded to the second baseman. And they ate him up. Castillo is going to be aboard. That's the new second baseman, Nick Peretti. And the Hawks have a runner on with 1 out. And now hitting for Aaron Fisher is number 10, Aaron Copas. He will assume the new designated hitter role. Copas, also a senior, as Scott Cook continues the seniors into the game trend. Copas takes up and in, and it's ball 1. Upstairs, ball 2. Castillo a healthy lead off of first. Utagawa steps off, throws over. It's back safely. Two go in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Lifted in the air to center field. Cade Verduzco. 2 outs. Now back to the top of the order for Connor Webster. Webster in 3 plate appearances today, 2 strikeouts and a line out to left field. Curveball that missed by a lot. Got to the backstop, and Castillo moves to second base easily. That one just got away from David Utagawa. In an 8-2 ball game, however, here in the late going, that can happen without much harm. It's 1-0. Castillo now in at second base. The pitch to Webster. Inside, almost hit him. And it's 2-0. Utagawa sets now, the 2-0. In there for a strike. Top edge of the corner. Top edge of the zone, excuse me. 2-1. Trey Cutchin on deck. He'd hit next. Swung on and missed. 2-2. A big swing by Webster. Trying to put one over the left fielder there that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Man on second, Tristan Castillo. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Hawks trailing 8-2. Utagawa sets at his chest. Kicks, delivers. Swung on, fouled off right side. And we'll do it again. The 2-2. Inside ball 3. Webster had to kick his foot out of the way of that one, as now the count is full with 2 outs. Castillo unlikely to be running from second base, as there isn't a force out at third. Inside ball 4. Now it's the pitcher, Trey Cutchin. Cutchin has reached base safely 3 times today, 2 singles and a walk. And a run has come home to score. Sorry, Cutchin came home to score, I should say. Did that one time in the ball game as Utagawa steps off. Wind now blowing out to, looks like straightaway right, if not right center. First and second for Cutchin. Curveball missed up 1-0. Cutchin could really help himself out here, excuse me. 1-0. Lifted left side. Mateo Baker can't get there. And it's a ball and a strike. Two. Foul ball, and we'll do it again. Still 2-2. We're not sure what happened, but the home plate umpire heading over to the third base dugout to talk to a couple members of the Hawks, I believe. Possibly some words from the third base dugout over to the home plate umpire. Looks like everything seems to be handled now as it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch to Cutchin. Swung on, lifted into left field. Mateo Baker is there. Still an 8-2 ball game after the fly out by Cutchin. We'll head to the top of the 7th. Daniel Sotelo, Mateo Baker, and Cade Verduzco when we come back. Top of the 7th, now as Teddy Ladley will lead things off. Hitting for Daniel Sotelo, who left the game quite a while ago. David Webb getting all of his reserves in the game. Fouls one off, and it's 0-1. Another foul ball, 0-2. Number 16, Eric Widener on deck. The 0-2 to Teddy Ladley. Taken in the dirt. One, two, also a ball, and it's 2-2. Eight runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for Corona. 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for Highland. Ladley fouls another one off, right side. Watch out, parking lot. Still 2-2. And Ladley takes one off the shoulder. And he's aboard with nobody out for Eric Widener. Eric Widener on the year, hitting .207 in 23 games. 6 hits, 4 runs driven in. As he lifts one into center field there, Deaton going back, gone. And just as I was about to say that Eric Widener has 1 homer on the year, Eric Widener decides that he wants 1 more home run on the year. A 2-run shot, and it's 10-2 Corona. Widener got into one there, took it over the left center field wall, and it's an 8-run game. And now the only starter besides Hunter Haas still in the lineup is center fielder Cade Verduzco. He's still at the plate here. Pops one out right side. And the count is quickly 1 ball and 1 strike. Second homer of the ball game for Corona del Sol. First came back in the first inning when Brian Comer hit a 2-run homer. Now Eric Widener. As it's 1-2 on Cade Verduzco. Curveball lifted into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And Verduzco into second base as the Hawks took some time to get that ball in. And he steals a double. And now it's the second baseman, Nick Peretti. Still no outs in the inning. Lifted to left field. Play made by, looks like Tristan Castillo out there. And there is one away. Now it's Aaron Garcia, the designated hitter. Came in for Matt Novus. He lifts one foul. Count 0-1. Strike 2. The 0-2 from Cutchin. Called. Strike three, he got him. Trey Cutchin gets Aaron Garcia looking, and there are two away. Now it's the shortstop, Hunter Haas. Haas so far has reached base 3 times, but he's 1 for 2, a double and a flyout. He's also reached by way of a hit by pitch. That was back in the first, and he came around to score. And in his last at-bat, he walked. Outside ball 1. Wind blowing back out to center field now. The pitch. Ground ball left side. Webster on to first. Side retired. Two runs come across on the 2-run home run by Eric Widener. It's a 10-2 ball game. The Hawks will need, they need 9 to come back in the bottom of the 7th. They'll have to do it with Hamza, Thornton, and Deaton. They'll be due up when we come back. Lucas Hamza will lead things off in the bottom of the 7th inning as the Hawks trail by 8. Last home game of the year for Highland. Hamza takes up and in, ball 1. Still David Utagawa out there. 1-0 inside, and it's 2-0. That one almost hit Hamza. If the catcher Schobinger hadn't put his glove in there to get it, it probably would have hit Hamza. That one Hamza takes for a strike, and it's 2-1. Well, in the defensive changes for Highland, Dakota Thornton now playing first base as Hamza grounds one to the third baseman Calmer. One away. And now here's Thornton, likely his last home at bat as a Hawk. So far today, Thornton has reached all 3 times he's been on base, a single, a double, and a walk. Inside again. 1-0. Two and 0. If there's anything we've seen from Dakota Thornton is that he will work at bats. He'll be patient and wait for his pitch. Even if it is 10-2, he swings and misses there, and it's 2-1. Alec Deaton, the center fielder, waits on deck. Ball 3. Now it's starting to get a little bit chilly as the shadows have started to make their way over the field. That one's inside on Thornton. He draws a walk. Really is amazing how here in Arizona it can turn from really hot to a little bit chilly if you get in the shade and the wind starts blowing. Utagawa now working with the man on first with one out. Deaton takes the ball upstairs, and it's 1-0. Corner goes, swung on, lifted, right back at us here. It's going to get over our heads. And it's 1-1 now. Deaton on the day, 0 for 3, a strikeout and 2 groundouts. The 1-1 from Utagawa. Runner goes. Swung on line, back right up the middle. And Alec Deaton is aboard with a 7th inning single. Now it's Court Myers. Myers a chance, 1 out and 2 on. He's also 0 for 3 in the game, 2 strikeouts and a fly out to right. 2 pitchers throwing in the Corona bullpen. I don't suppose that we'll see them in this game, as Utagawa misses inside, and it's 1-0. I would think that this game is David Utagawa's to finish. However, we'll see, as there are 2 arms warming. Thornton takes off for third, lifted into center field. And Verduzco will make the play 2 away. And now Hawks are down to their final out, and it's Ethan Caudillo. Lined into left field, but Mateo Baker puts it away, and that will do it for the last home game here at Hawks Field in Gilbert, Arizona, on the campus of Highland High School. The Hawks drop the ball game today by a score of 10-2 as Highland receives a standing ovation from the home crowd. For the seniors, their last ball game here at home. A bittersweet ending. As they're shaking hands on the field, the Hawks will jog out to left field for a conversation with their manager for this afternoon's game. The totals for both teams: 10 runs, 8 hits, 4 errors for Corona del Sol. And for Highland, 2 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. The Hawks end the home slate with a loss. However, it was a productive year for them. Very learning-filled year. And with the pieces that the Hawks have, they can expect to come back next year pretty competitive. The next ball game will be tomorrow. That'll be at Corona del Sol. Not sure if we'll have a broadcast out there quite yet. If we do, however, it will be on Mixler.com/Highland Hawks. But for today's ball game, we thank our director, Denise Gonzalez, our producer, Bella Cisneros. For Jeff Griffith, my name is Jordan Lank. We appreciate all of you who have joined us The whole season, the Hawks drop a heartbreaker as 10-2 at the hands of the Corona del Sol Aztecs. Thanks for joining us all season long, and as always, have a great night.